What's up guys, Olfin here. So I'm going to be going through a deck profile of the Cyrodiil deck. I took this to YCS London, but I don't have a good camera or anything, so I'm just going to do it on YGOPRO, which obviously is, worse, but what can you do? Yeah, I don't have a good camera. I went 3-5, so pretty garbage. Possibly could have done slightly better, but I mean, this isn't an amazing deck or anything, and I died to floodgates a lot. Like Draco anti-spell, Altergeist anti-spell, stuff like that. Because side twin twisters probably, I don't have them though. So yeah, I should have done that. But okay, so let's just go through this and sort of how it makes sense. I guess actually, I don't know. Okay, well you got Dark Ruler. So you special them by sending 3 of your monsters to graveyard. Flip a coin. Heads, basically you just win in this battle phase. He attacks twice and kills, 4,000 twice. It's almost definitely game. Tails, if he's destroyed, destroy everything. Not an activated effect, so you can't like strike it or anything, which is great. I caught one Draco player off because he didn't read it properly, and he thought it was just going to destroy his monsters, and it like nuked like 4 back row, which is pretty funny. Still lost that match, but it's quite funny. But the main use of it is clear imps and put Natasha in graveyard. 2 of each kaiju. You want the big ones because you're going to steal them back with Natasha, and you want them to be light so you can save them with Angel Ritual. We'll get to that all that later. But yeah, they're big, they're things, they get rid of that beast, basically. Vanity's Ruler. If you don't open Dogra, so generally he's your play going first. Dogra can break it sometimes though, but if you're going first, you just want to try and end up Vanity's Ruler. That's it. So 2 of each of these guys, because they're kind of like garnets, like you don't really want to open them, you want to special them. But opening is generally not too bad. I like the imps, but they're pretty bricky at whatever number, honestly. Like, they're good, but I don't know. They're good. They're not great. So 2 of each of these, 3 of this one, because he reveals monsters and you have 9 monsters compared to 3 spells, basically. 2 of him, because he can't search a monster, but he does still reveal a monster, so it's in between. Best one, middle, worst one. 3 Dogra, because it's Manju, but it searches 2. Although, realistically, this deck is going to search 3 and pop 1 or 2 cards as well, because of Natasha. It's really good. Triple Benton. Yeah, it's Benton, tribute it, get to search for another Benton, which is stupid, or like anything you need, basically. Vanity's Ruler, Dark Ruler, Editin, Natasha Benton. Yeah, it's really good. Editin 3 of. So one of the things you can do a lot is if you open like 2 or 3 Editins and you can still play, if you summon an Editin by tributing Benton, you get a new spell and a new Benton. So all you've done is essentially special Editin from your hand. And it just is really good at fueling your graveyard for lots of Natasha plays, basically. You can definitely play the deck without it though, but it's nice. It just fuels the graveyard really easily, basically. You could very easily cut it down to 2 though, without like any issues at all. 3 Natasha. Best card, you could probably cut it to 2 because you want to see it sometimes, but not all the time. That's a lie. But you don't really want to open like 3 of her, so you could cut it to 2 just to get rid of that possibility. And opening 2 is not the best as well. But so what she does is once per turn you can heal for half the attack of another monster you control. So a lot of the time that's going to be Dark Ruler, and you're only healing for 2,000 per time, which lets you use Dogra a lot in your turn, which is great. If any of your ritual monsters would be targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack. No one reads this. They read it, so they attack your Natasha. Or any of your ritual monsters, your Natasha effect. They read it and they say, "Oh, okay," and they attack another ritual monster, and you go Natasha effect, and they read it again and they go, "Oh, it's not once per turn." And you're like, yeah, no, it's not, because no one realizes it's not once per turn, because it's kind of a mess of text in there, which is pretty funny. And then the main effect, for this is that if it's in the graveyard, you can banish another Cyber Angel from your graveyard. Target monster your opponent controls, special this, and take control of that monster. And because it's an if you do, it gets around some annoying stuff like Rivalry goes in. So just send the opponent's monster to graveyard if you try and take a monster while you're under Rivalry goes in, which is quite nice. Still, it works. But yeah, Natasha's the best thing because basically the players, you take their monster, link away, take their monster, link away, and you can keep putting them in the graveyard and linking away and taking them to the board. 2 extra foolish. Again, it's an alright card. The problem is if you open it and Dogger, it just says all extra foolish really says is gain 2,000 life points, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean it's alright. It's an out to like Rivalry goes in. It does a few things, but if we get better support in the future, it's definitely pretty easy to cut. Reasoning, I really like it. I don't think there's a situation where you cut it. So 2 cards, the worst 2 cards in the deck to hit off Reasoning would be Dark Ruler, because it just keeps going past him, but now he's not in the deck anymore. And Vanity's Ruler, because if it hits him, it just stops. That's the only card in the deck that will just stop one though. So your opponent's almost never going to call 9 or 10, and even if they do call 1, it's 50% that hit the other. So you sometimes use just special kaiju from deck. You get 33 beat stick for free. That's an out to a lot of stuff. It's pretty nice. Beats over like Thunder Dragon stuff. It's just good. The main thing is though, you can hit imps from your deck. So hitting either of these is great. Hitting Pensilver can actually be pretty good as well though, because if you mill a ritual monster before you hit Pensilver, so if you hit if you go Activate Reasoning, mill Benton, Machine Angel, Pensilver activates effects and gets to add Benton back, which is great. So it's sort of like Talismandra, but slightly worse if you hit it like that. 2 Sextant, because you don't really want to see 3. You only really want to see 1, but 2 because you want to see it a bit more often. You want to see it sometimes, basically. The main thing you'll be putting back is Talismandra after you've specialed onto the board, but you can put back these if you're brick with them. Upstart, because you run 1 less card. 3 Into the Voids, because you run 3 less cards. The discard at the end phase does occasionally come up and screw you over, but over the entire 8 matches of YCS London that I played, it didn't come up at all. It's rare that it comes up, because most of the time you'll either dump your entire hand onto your board, and then it won't matter obviously anyway, or you'll end with maybe like a kaiju in your hand which you didn't need and it's just sort of dead, or ritual spell or ritual monster in hand which you can just dump to give Natasha more fuel, or in terms of the ritual spell protection, which I'll get to in a second. So Truffle Prep, it's good. Yeah, I mean it's prep, what is there to say? Machine Angel Ritual. You contribute exceed levels, which is nice. Tribute levels that exceed the level of the ritual monster, so you can summon Natasha off of 6s, which is very useful. If you couldn't, this deck would not work. But the actual bonus effect of this ritual spell compared to the other normal ritual spells is that if any monster you control be destroyed by battle or card effect while it's in graveyard, you can banish it instead. Again, it's not activated, which is great because so if you're ending on Vanity's Ruler going first, he'll have 2 or 3 protections from battle or card effects, which is amazing. Because quite often people will go and try and beat over it or try and work out some way of getting rid of it. You just go, okay, banish that instead, and they scope. But you can also, if you flip Tails on Dark Ruler and you have a board, if they destroy Dark Ruler, you can let them destroy it and then protect your entire board, and their board will get wiped because you're banishing this to save your board, but you won't save the Dark Ruler, which is really good. Then for the extra deck, 2 Entus for Dogra and Massive Extra Foolish, 3 Arclight for Dogra and Extra Foolish, 2 Scoldred because it's a Link 4, should probably be Boral Sword, but it doesn't really matter honestly. I'm not sure I ever went into a Link 4 anyway at London. Unicorn because it spins in back row and it lets you discard Cyber Angel for Natasha. 2 Phoenix because they let you discard Cyber Angels for Natasha, pops in back row. Pentastag because there's a few things that might be problems, but then you can just punch through them. So, like First of the Dragons, you don't really have an out to that, but I mean, you know, kaijus, but ignoring them, you can just punch through it with Pentastag instead. To Cerberus, almost never actually use this effect, but you can discard Cyber Angels. The problem is you don't really want to get rid of your opponent's monsters, so it's alright. And then 2 Hyperstar because link away 2 of these guys, one of these, you know, whatever. Make it, it boosts your monsters. It means you gain slightly more life off of him if you're healing off of him. And then the side deck, I know, 7 cards, beautiful. I had a second one, so I put a second one in the side deck. 3 Prankotops because you sided against some things and it's slightly better than kaijus. You just take out the kaijus and put it in. Bookstone, take out a kaiju and put it in against Altergeist if they're running Secret Village because it's a spellcast you can summon from the deck, which is, you know, useful. But generally Bookstone kind of sucks because it reveals a spell and you only run 3 spells, and then it searches a spell from grave, which is like so irrelevant because you want your spells in grave. And then 2 Book of Eclipse because my third one wasn't in playable condition, it was pretty fucked. And yeah, it's good against Thunder Dragon. But yeah, that's the deck. I do have it IRL, obviously I took it to YCS London, but yeah, again, terrible camera. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, it's a decent deck. It's fun. It's not the best deck, but it's fun. I like it. So yeah.